Years ago, when my husband and I actually had to go in for counseling, one of my biggest problems was I don't talk about things that are bothering me. I just hold them in and let them build up until I just explode, and then I'm done. I'm just done. There's no talking about it. I'm just done. Instead of talking about the problem as it comes up so that we can address it, work through it, and move on.
I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face, feeling thankful for the love and the happiness we chase. Sun is shining brightly, sky so blue and clear. With every
Oh my gosh, you guys. This is killing me. This is just, and I normally don't get this upset over celebrities passing away, but this one has really been
Ozzy
hard.
Osbourne's family and fans are saying their final goodbye to him today with a heartfelt procession through his home city of Birmingham.
I think one of the reasons that it's bothering me so much is they had that show, The Osbournes, and we got to know them as a family, and we got to see Ozzy behind the scenes and seeing what their marriage was like. And I really feel like Sharon really loved him. She was really a helpmate, and I appreciated seeing that, seeing how they worked through their problems, and they had problems, but they obviously worked through them. They've been together for how many years? I'm not sure if they were still together at the end. Didn't they separate for a while? Or I'm not even sure. I stopped following it. But I always like to see what other marriages are like, especially behind closed doors, because you never know. Things look great, but they're not always great. And um, all we know, this is what my counselor told us back in the day, all we know about relationships is what we grew up seeing. And usually that's our parents. And however our parents behaved, that's how we behave, good or bad. And yeah, my parents were terrible communicators. So I know that's where it stems from. That's where it started. And now I worry about my kids because I know they watched me growing up and saw how I just held things in. That wasn't a good example for them, and I really feel bad about that. Okay, so let me fix this. How is that? Is that any better? Forgive my hair. I haven't gotten that far yet. Always got my face on, but I got to do my hair. So anyway, yeah, why do we suffer in silence? I have, my own ideas of why I do it, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate to this, especially as mothers, grandmothers. We're the rock of the family. We're the solid ones, right? And we don't want to burden everyone with our problems because we're here to fix theirs, right? So we hold it inside. And years ago, when my husband and I actually had to go in for counseling, one of my biggest problems was I don't talk about things that are bothering me. I just hold them in and let them build up until I just explode, and then I'm done. I'm just done. There's no talking about it. I'm just done. Instead of talking about the problem as it comes up so that we can address it, work through it, and move on. That would be the sane, responsible, reasonable thing to do, but I'm never been sane, responsible, or reasonable. So I would hold it in and hold it in, thinking that was better. As long as they don't know that I have any problems, the better. Plus, we feel sometimes, maybe not you, but I felt that I wasn't worthy of sharing what was wrong with me because it was my problem. It was my issue. You know, that the person I had the issue with would love me less. That's part of being a people pleaser. So if somebody upset me or I was having problems, I didn't want them to think it was their problem. Like if they did something to upset me, that was my problem, that they upset me. So I wouldn't share that with them. I had to figure out a way to fix it. And you can't fix it if somebody else is doing something that's upsetting you. If they don't know, that's not fair to them. You're not even giving them a chance to address the problem. You can't fix it. But I always thought that was my responsibility. And even now, I'm having a hard time because I feel like my problems are my problems. Everybody else is dealing with their own. They don't want that from me. They want me to be here for them. They need me to be here for them and to listen to them and to help them. If I tell them that I have problems, then I don't know if that makes me less lovable or needy, if I'll push them away. I just know it's not healthy. And that's why I have to work on that at 63. I haven't learned this. Like I said, we went through counseling, and I found out back then, that part of our problems were because I hold things in. And I was always afraid of other people's reactions too. You never know how they're going to react. If the problem you're having is something that they're doing that is causing you some distress or frustration or whatever, are they going to receive it well? Or is that just going to push you farther away or push them farther away? That's not what I wanted. So I didn't know how to deliver it properly. And that's a big problem, is how do we share our issues or problems that we're having without making it worse, because we can, if we just come off accusing the other person of doing something that's making us upset. We have to approach it correctly. We don't want to come off angry or abusive or accusatory, because it may not even be their problem. It may be our problem. They may not even be doing anything wrong, but we're perceiving something that may not even be there. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Maybe we were indirectly hurt or by something that they did that they didn't even realize, or it wasn't meant that way, but we took it that way. So we were hurt and we were angry and we held it in and never gave that other person an opportunity to explain their side. We just built a wall. And that's what I do. I build walls. And then it makes it really hard for anybody to break through. And like I said, there's sometimes I hold things in for so long that when I finally blow up, all that emotion, all those feelings come out. It's so overwhelming for me and for them. I'm just done. I don't even want to work it out. I'm done. And that's not healthy either. How can you have a healthy relationship with anybody? I'm not just talking about with their spouse. I'm talking with friends and family. If you never talk about things as they come up, but you've got to pick and choose your battles. You can't bring up everything that you perceive as, an issue or as a direct insult to you, because it may not be, because the whole world isn't about us, right? Everything's about us. Everything they do. When other people are mad, I try to think, what did I do? It has nothing to do with me. They got all this other stuff going on in the world and they might be short with me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I did something. What did I do? And I'll think about it, and it will have absolutely nothing to do with me. But that, I don't know if that's, again, part of being a people pleaser. We always assume that, we have this effect on everybody. That almost sounds narcissistic, So yeah, I need to work on that still at 63. and being able to share things lovingly and say, hey, this is how this made me feel. Yeah. Or, and I'm not even talking just about, relationships. I'm talking about other things that happen in our life, not sharing things that are happening because we don't know how the other person is going to perceive it. If they're going to see it as, well, what did you do wrong? Why did you do this wrong or that wrong? Why is this happening? And think less of you or be disappointed. So you don't want to share. Like when I first started YouTube and I was sharing all the mistakes that we had made or the series of unfortunate events, I did get a lot of feedback. Well, you created that problem. What did you do to make this happen? That kind of thing. And as far as I could see, it wasn't anything that we had done wrong. It was just, life. And that does happen. A lot of times just bad things happen to good people. But there are other times when we do cause these things to happen and we're not even aware, and sometimes it's nice to hear from, maybe not nice, but we need to hear this from other people, so we'll think about things differently. And I know I can talk to you guys. I can talk to you too, because I'm just talking to a camera. I'm looking at myself. You're not there yet. You will be in the comments. But right now it's easy to open up. If I was to sit here in front of, so many people, I wouldn't be talking about this because I don't talk about this kind of stuff. It was hard to talk about it when we went into counseling. It was really hard. And when I'm mad, when I'm sad, no matter what, I cry. Some people, when they get mad, they get, angry and they can yell. I'm not like that. I just get sad and I end up crying and then I can't find my words. And I'm one for writing letters because it's easier to put things down. The emotions don't get in the way. So sometimes it's easier to just write out how you're feeling and you can find the right words and then you can reread it and see how it sounds. So, because like I said, sometimes when you're talking or sharing, the emotions get in the way and you might come off more angry than you are, or you might come across as accusing the other person. You really got to choose your words carefully and be considerate of the other person when you're sharing. But it's not always easy to do when you're overcome by emotion, when you're upset. So I need to work on those things. Thank God we have the internet nowadays. We didn't have all this. We can Google it and look things up, and we don't necessarily have to go in for therapy, although I think that's beneficial too. But I'm learning a lot. I've been watching videos on this subject. It's funny though, because there's always different sides. I was trying to find out about opening up, and one of the videos that I got was the art of being silent. Being silent can be helpful. And sure, in some situations it is, but for people like me that tend to bottle up and not share, I love being, the sounding board for other people. I'm a good listener, and I will always encourage other people to open up and share because I try to be non-judgmental and balanced and listen to people. But yet I don't feel comfortable doing that myself. I feel like, I'm admitting that I'm a failure when I talk about things that are going wrong in my life. It's like, why is that happening? Why aren't you in more control of things, at your age? And it's just difficult. How long have I talked? Wow, 11 minutes. My goodness, I can talk, right? I'm trying to keep these short, but anyway, how do you guys feel? How do you handle things like that? Do you bottle them up? Are you one for sharing? Do you overshare? Because I do that too. I can overshare sometimes, and I have to be careful. It's trying to find the balance. I'm going to work on that. But today, what's today? Wednesday. 3 more days before my granddaughter leaves. We still have a lot to do. I want to take her and she needs to get a haircut before she starts school. We got to pack all our stuff, get it all ready to go. I've got things to do around here. I've got 3 of my grandkids here today. And it's still their summer, so I still want to do fun things too. But my house still needs a lot of attention because there's been a lot of people here. Oh, by the way, I went out and did Uber last night, did good. I'll include a clip from that. I haven't showed you guys my Uber lately, so I'll put a clip after this so you can see where I'm at on that. And then, yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you guys for listening. I do appreciate you. You're my sounding board right now, you know, and I need that. It does help me to at least verbalize, get things out. Yeah, it's helpful. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your feedback. You guys have been very kind. So thank you. Well, my coffee's cold now, so I'm going to go heat it up, and then I think I'll wake up the kids. So anyway, stay tuned. Like I said, I got a little bit more, and I will see you in the next video. Hey guys, I am out doing Uber. As you can tell, I'm in my office, my car, and my granddaughter's at home with her papa. But I had to go to work. You know, it's my job. Even though I don't have a time clock that I punch into, I can come and go when I need to. I have to go. I have to work. You know, I've been working my job around my life, which has been wonderful. I couldn't do that with any other job. You know, I can spend time with my granddaughter. I can work on things around the house. And then when I'm ready, you know, I can come down here and turn on the app. But I like to come down, you know, there's a chart on the app. It tells you when is the best times for the dinner rush and the lunch rush. And I like to be here, you know, around that time. So like right now it's 6:30. I've been out here for about, I don't know, half an hour. And I've had two shopping orders, which those are always good. Those pay more. So I think I made $30. Which that's not too bad for half an hour. Plus I get, you know, the Prop 22 money on top of it. So, yeah, I'm going to stay out here a little while longer. I have a goal. I told you I like to make at least $50 to $75 a night when I'm out here. And I need to come out at least 4 nights a week. So, yeah, I made 30. If I can make another 20 bucks, I'm heading back home. I told my granddaughter I wouldn't stay out too late. I can work more when she's not here, but for right now, I don't like to be gone for more than a couple hours. She wants me to paint her nails when I get home. She likes this Korean boy band. It's so cute. And I think this is the first boy band that she's followed that she likes. And their colors are like black, white, red. Is that what it is? Black, white, and pink. And so we're going to paint her nails those colors. I told her I would help her when I get home. And yeah, we're going to do that. And we only have a few more nights together. What is this? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And yeah, her cousins, they did go home today, but they're going to come back. And so I've been trying to entertain her. You know, the minute they leave, the minute the door closes behind them, I'm bored. It's like, okay, let's go do something. So I took her out today. She likes that matcha tea with lavender foam. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, so I took her out for that. And then I had to go to a couple stores. I needed some things. So we ran some errands. And she's so good. She's just, you know, I just love having her there so much. It's going to be so hard. When we were driving down the road today, I thought, this time next week when I'm driving, she won't be sitting in the car next to me. So I'm just trying to get in all the hugs and kisses and as much time with her as possible. I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to cry when we drop her off. Anyway, it's getting hot. I've got the windows down. I want to show you my view of the ticky-tacky houses on the hill. Always reminds me of that show Weeds. All the tiny little boxes. They're all the same. Oh, well. I like the mountains. The mountains are pretty, aren't they? The sky is blue. Let's see if I can turn it all the way so you can see. Let me take it out. give you a better view. Look at that. That, my friends, is Big Bear. Isn't that beautiful? And if I turned it all the way around, you wouldn't be able to see the buildings are in the way. But Mount San Jacinto is behind the building there. So yeah, it's a lovely little area. But I'm having a good day. I kept busy. I did a lot of things. Oh, yeah. Well, or you want to see the mountains. The lighting is just wonderful, right? Right in the shade, or in the sun, in the shade. But yeah, I'm staying busy. I'm doing all the good things: cleaning my house, working, drinking my water, walking on my treadmill, spending quality time with my granddaughter. So I'm doing the good stuff. But still, thoughts always creep into my mind, and I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. I just get sad. Happiness is hard. You have to really work at it to stay happy. It's not easy. It's not easy. But like I said, it was a good day. The majority of it was happy. The sad parts come and go in waves, and I just have to deal with it. Anyway, I'm going to hold out for a couple more orders, and then we'll go home and we'll paint my granddaughter's fingernails. That'll be much more fun.